No, but
I
you
want
don't.
everybody to
You
respect their
never did.
boundaries.
So we passed that
I'm
now.
gonna make
This where the
sure
fuck
that I
we at.
do from now
It's fuck
on. I'm
you,
gonna make
fuck
sure
the
that I
air you
do from
breathe,
now on.
fuck what
I'm
you
gonna
like and what
respect
you want,
Kente
fuck your
boundaries.
boundaries,
Everybody
and fuck you again.
respect Kente boundaries. She's very serious and adamant about what she's saying, and I agree with everything she's saying. It's not like
You
she's
don't
not
gotta
saying
agree, bitch.
nothing
I'm not
that
asking
we
for
don't agree
agreement.
with. She's saying things that when she says what she says on a topic, she's usually right. Now, when she gets into it with somebody, it goes left, like how in it with me. But what I'm saying
You
is,
shouldn't have
it's
started it,
about
bitch.
what she's saying about the topic. Okay, I'll be another bitch. I've been 1,346
You
bitches.
about to be
All right.
3,000 bitches, bitch.
Okay. I'll be 3,000. I just want you to be okay. Can we get there? Can you
I'm
be
fine,
okay?
bitch. I'm doing
I
exactly what
want
the
you to
fuck I
be
want to
okay.
do right now, bitch.
God. Okay. I don't. mm, Okay. As long as
You
you.
and that bitch in the comments,
As
Wisdom
long as you
Matrix.
fine.
You bitch ass niggas, this what y'all gotta
As
do.
long
Somebody
as you're
disagreed more
fine.
than 3 times
Can
in a
but
panel, and
Kente,
they're problematic for
can
y'all
we?
weak-minded ass motherfuckers. I'ma
I'm
always
on.
be a
Okay,
problem
I'm
for
weak
bitch ass niggas.
minded.
I
I'm
don't mind.
slow. I'm
I want
all
to
of
be a
this. Can we
problem for
move
y'all.
on
Leave me
though?
the fuck
Can we
alone.
move on? Can we
No, we
move
can't.
on, Kente?
No, you move on, bitch. I'm
Please.
right where I need to be.
I'm talking about the whole panel. Just saying that we can like go into a topic or something. Not talk
Yeah, we could
about
go
me
into
and
a
Organic,
you
topic,
I
guys.
but you
definitely
still a
got a
bitch.
question, organic. Damn it, we passed my quarter. Thank you guys. Damn, almost to 300. God damn. Um, organic. Do y'all think that this brick lady really gonna get a charge? Cause
Yes.
I don't think she's gonna get charged at all. I think she's gonna probably they're gonna probably say because he hit her with that water bottle, um, she's justified in doing what she was doing. And I don't think she's
Whew.
gonna get charged. And I'm kind of at the point that I don't think she should get charged no more. Because if people stupid enough to give her money, I mean, they stupid enough to give all that money. I mean, you gotta call a spade a spade. I mean, what she did was wrong. Lying about it and saying he hit her with a brick was definitely wrong. So I mean,
If it was an
that's just
unopened
me.
water bottle, it probably felt like a brick.
Yeah, yeah, but I
No,
did an
she's definitely
experiment.
getting charged because it's a federal fraud offense because she did it
Hmm.
on GoFundMe. It makes it crossing state lines. We already had this discussion. So because of that reason, it's a
Wow,
federal fraud. It's not a state fraud.
wow,
Did she get the
shit.
money though? Like she actually
Yeah,
got the money, or she just
they
raised
Yeah,
that much?
suspended. Yeah, she got some of it, and then they suspended.
wow.
Some of it.
I mean, she
Yeah,
was
they
able to buy
released
herself
because
out
they give
today.
you really. You don't get it all at one time. From it does GoFundMe doesn't give you all the money at one time. They give it to you in like annulments.
I mean, she was able to buy herself out today, so I mean, that wasn't cheap.
We'll see. I mean, the big thing about it is it's going to be about the DA, right?
I
About the
answered it.
state DA.
Yeah, yeah. The
Mm.
DA, I believe she's gonna get a female DA who's gonna sympathize with her and be like,
Possibly. Yeah.
right, possibly, 'cause I mean, and then her attorney, she gotta have a whoever she has as a lawyer. So I mean, I don't know. That's if she even hired a
But like,
lawyer.
but
Whew. Thank you for everybody joining us on this first class flight to Bitch City. Share the live and don't be jive. Throw a bean and don't be mean. We're at 290 bitches for the win in motherfucking county. 283 of those bitches have been exclusively for 84 drip. I think he's out, coach. That's a KO. Thank you, baby.
I'm
Renee,
fucking
you ain't shit,
dead.
bro. I thought we was cool. You ain't shit either, motherfucker.
Oh,
Dude, that was like
Fuck you,
you.
motherfucker.
He was
Well,
young at that
I
time.
do want to factor in it was a woman who did the fraud case on her.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh
It wasn't a
shit.
Yeah.
man. So
Oh, that's crazy. I go crazy.
if men cared that much, why ain't they turn her in?
Right.
Yeah,
That go
and again, it's
crazy.
gonna all be up to the DA. The DA could look at it and say that there's not enough.
I want the men to really ponder that question one more time. If the men really cared,
Hmm.
why didn't they turn her in?
Good
Right.
question.
Right. That's a good ass question.
It
That's
is a
a
good question.
that's a good ass question.
I think it
Wow.
happened like it's supposed to happen for real because it was a woman that was on her case, and she was on her case hard. Like she called the police station and asked like what happened, and then like y'all ain't fighting for the assailant. She already knew that she was
Yeah, we
lying,
already watched all
but
the
she was
organic
playing
played.
it. Yeah.
Organic played all the videos earlier.
So I don't
We watched.
I think that the women handling women is a good thing. Like where do we ain't got no business being in that. Like that's y'all shit. Like let the women handle
Interesting.
the women.
Ain't Lemon. Interesting. Okay.
Most of the women was the donators in her little GoFundMe page.
The
Possibly a
only
lot
thing
of
that I
women
would say
did
is I would
donate.
see it
Yeah.
as being
We didn't
it's
give
a
a
bad
fuck.
reflection
Cause
against
ain't no
a
money.
woman. It'd be a bad reflection against women because what if it was for real, and now there's always going to be this question, that's the downfall of it.
I'm not
Yeah.
questioning shit. That's where discernment comes into play. I'm not about to cop out to some weaknesses. Oh, well, since this one woman did this, I gotta question everything. No. All right, so how about I
Yeah.
question all the single fathers that can use these platforms to get assistance because they complain about the government not giving it to them? How about that?
Right.
It's a good point. Good point. But I think
So if
I
I'm
mean,
taking
it's
my
like
support for this
when
cause,
it
I'm
comes
taking
goes.
it
to
from
the
every fucking body.
brothers, like
Yeah.
Right.
when it comes to the brothers, like not getting they uh if they're not doing what they supposed to do, and then they ain't getting what they supposed to think that they supposed to deserve, then they may not be that guy. Like we not
That
finna
sounds like
as
a
this
lot of
men.
fluff
I'm
in
not
what
finna
you
be
just
like
said.
fuck this.
What that got to
I'm
do
be
with the
like
price of
fuck
tea and
this
cider?
nigga. Like, but what I'm saying is like men ain't going through here and saying, oh, I just got hit or just send me some money. Like men ain't doing that type of shit. It's women.
I love when you slow ass niggas walk through the door. We be walking you through that motherfucker every time just to be like, mm-hmm. Now look, you say that, but niggas seem to forget about that nigga who was getting beat the fuck up by his baby mama. Mind you, she was motherfucking 3 months pregnant when she whooped his ass. The nigga was all but what? I think he was like 5, 4 or some shit like that. And he would be playing his little Xbox. He'd go right on Facebook Live and she would beat the living shit out his ass. I mean knocking this nigga. Beating his ass to the point that rappers started telling this nigga, we will buy you someplace to live. He's on Bigo now. We will buy you someplace to live because of how bad she's whooping your ass. Then they started finding videos of the girl beating this nigga. The girl got the nigga jumped. He was fighting his whole life while he was with this girl. She done backdoored his ass, got his ass beat the fuck up by the niggas. Then she came in after the niggas beat him up and beat his ass again. So don't sit here and say that's some shit that just women do, nigga. That's not
She
true.
should have just slapped the shit out that
Yeah,
bitch.
we
What the
definitely
fuck is he
remember that
doing? He should have
person.
beat that bitch
They
up.
made a whole
The fuck
song
out of
about
here.
him.
You want to be beating
They
up
made
They
a
got a
whole
whole
song.
song. Yeah, I do remember that shit.
man, I beat that bitch up. The fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
little
we
ass
beat
nigga.
her up.
He would
Y'all
always be
talking
on
about
Yeah.
Bigo.
slow. No, that nigga slow.
Yeah, I remember that shit. Yeah,
He on
that
Bigo
was
now,
fucked
Man, the
y'all.
up.
fuck them
He be
motherfuckers
on
keep putting their
Bigo.
hands on me and shit.
Is he
He
really
about to
organic? He's
he
on
about to start his
Bigo?
Well,
Is he
stand-up
yeah,
really?
today.
yeah, yeah. That
He got
could
on
be his
Bigo like
karma.
last night.
It could be a karma type
No,
thing, and
come,
motherfuckers is
really?
scared
But
because they
Yogi, he
probably
got
went
a
to
house
jail
out the
before.
deal. He got money out the deal. So he got to do a fake ass
He got
rap
a
song.
song. What are you talking? He got a song out of the
Man, they
deal.
played
Play
all
that
y'all
shit.
then. She
Play that
probably
shit,
said
Yes, he
some
got a
shit like
organic.
song out the
Play
she
it.
goddamn
messed
deal.
y'all. Like
Play it,
he
organic.
was like,
Play
"Well,
it.
you gonna
Play
say
it.
on camera."
Hey,
What's the name of
organic.
that nigga? What's that nigga name?
You gotta play it.
Negative. That type of negativity brings you fame. JJ
Yep.
Yeah.
Fish. Think about everybody that got. You think about everybody that got famous. They got embarrassed and they gave him fame.
Yeah, look at
They put on a
Bobbin.
dress. They put a dress
Look at
on.
you. Want to talk about a
Got
negative? Look
fame.
at Bobbin. He became famous and started, made himself a porn star after she cut his dick off.
Oh yeah, that shit, yeah.
Elena Bobbin.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
that
The
was
guy got
crazy.
famous as a motherfucker.
Yeah, he really
And
did.
he threw his dick out the window, and the cops had to go find it.
He was already
How
famous,
bad is
bro. He
that?
was already.
Hey,
He was already famous.
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
It didn't take for him to get his dick chopped off for him to be famous. He was already famous.
He wasn't famous. He was like B-rate
In the
famous,
porn
maybe.
industry, he was famous back then.
No, he was
He
B-rate
just, he
porn
just became a
famous.
household
ain't it?
name after he got
He
his
was
dick
famous,
chopped
ain't it?
off.
He got even more famous after his dick got cut off and put back on.
Famous, ain't it?
But what I'm saying is like that's he was already famous.
Yeah.
It's
He was
ridiculous.
not famous. He was B-rate famous at most.
Well, you fuck with a
Mm.
bitch and then go to sleep in some don't
That
have
motherfucker
your
got.
belt tight.
How do you take? How do
So
you
she
even
could
like?
cut
My
your dick
question
off.
is, listen. My question is, how do you even explain that to your bros, dude? A broad cut my dick off and threw it out a window, and the cops had to go find it,
You
and they had
can't
to stitch
explain
it
it,
back
bro.
on.
You don't talk about it. That's how you explain it. Don't
I'm
talk
not
about it.
gonna lie. If a
You
woman did
gonna
that to me,
listen,
ooh,
because I ain't gonna lie.
wow.
If any one of y'all my niggas, and then you come to me and say, "Man, this bitch chopped my dick off," like I'm not letting that shit down, bro. Like I'm finna clown you for the rest of your life if you around me. I'm gonna make every pun about it. Like it's a rap. It's a rap. I'm clowning you every day. Nigga, you ain't even got no
Yeah,
dick, nigga. You ain't got no reason to speak on
you
nothing.
gotta. That man gonna be fucking
You
shell
can't make
hemming.
no decisions. You can't make no executive decisions.
He gonna be
She'll have a
I mean,
dick.
shell
I'm just
hemming.
saying, if it's cut, he can't even get it sewed back on. Is it like a 3-second rule, like food on the ground? Is it like a
No, he
3-day
got it.
rule
Yeah,
for the
he
dick to
did.
be
He got it.
chopped off?
No,
Is it 3?
Nah, bro, that shit ain't like
Yogi,
when
he
you
got it.
drop food on
Yogi,
the
dead
ground, nigga. That's a
serious.
whole dick,
Yogi,
nigga.
Is it like a
dead
30? Is it like
serious.
a
The
three
cops.
second
Nigga
rule? Like
said
when food hits the
if
No,
ground,
no,
is it like
she
3
listen.
cut your
days? The
dick
dick
off
don't
and it
work.
fall on the ground, you got so
No,
many
no,
seconds
no,
to pick it
no,
up
Yogi.
But
and
how?
sew it
Yogi,
Yeah,
together
how
listen.
many
for it to
days?
work.
Yeah, how many
That go
seconds it take? How
crazy.
many days or hours before you get to cut it back
There was
on?
like a
What's the
lot of
3
Nigga, you
second
better
cops.
rule?
put that shit
No,
on
no, no.
ice,
Listen, there
nigga,
was a
straight
lot
up.
of cops that were looking at the ditch. They were wandering in the ditch trying to
Wow.
find this guy's dick, and they found the guy's dick, and they showed him putting it in a bag, in a little Ziploc baggie with some
I'm not
ice,
about to,
and they took
as
him
the
to the hospital.
police,
Damn.
I
They
ain't
had
gonna
to
lie.
have
I'm
that
not about to
motherfucker
go out
bag on.
looking for a nigga dick.
Damn.
I'm just not doing that.
Yeah,
Why?
you
That
should have
sound
told the
homo as
cop,
I'm
fuck.
dude. There was an
literally, I got my
interview.
hands on my pants while y'all
That nigga
saying this
got his
shit. Like I
dick
got
cut
my
off. He
hands on
need to
my.
be out here with
Yogi,
us
you
looking for
gotta
that
see
motherfucker.
Yogi,
Straight up.
Yogi. You gotta see the YouTube video with the cop that actually found the guy's dick. It's hilarious.
Wow.
It's fucking
Wow.
hilarious. He's
He probably
picking it
picked
up
it
with
up too, gay
tweezers.
ass
It's
nigga.
I'm not gonna
tweezers.
lie.
It was
I
funny.
probably been doing jail time. I probably would have killed this time. I'll be honest, man. I'll be honest.
Oh, she
Ooh, that's
dead, bro.
serious.
If a woman cut my dick off
Vishnu
and
would have
throw
been
that
mad.
bitch in the
Vishnu would have
woods
been mad at
for a
me.
coyote to grab the bitch, she's dead. I'm killing her. Cause I don't have no
Right.
reason to live no more. What reason I
That's
gotta
a
live?
fact.
I ain't got no dick.
Man, I remember
She's dead.
covering
I'm
that
killing her.
story. I remember covering that
I'm
story on the
killing, and
fucking
it's gonna be the
radio. I
most
was
horrific
laughing
way.
my
Like I'm gonna
ass
kill
off.
her. Like I'm not gonna
Oh
throw her in
shit.
the river and tie her
Yeah,
up
that's
and throw her in
Yes.
the
serious.
river. Like that's too easy. I'm finna torture this motherfucker.
Oh
You
shit.
I'm
imagine
torturing this
sitting on
bitch.
the air. Wait a second, 84. Imagine sitting on the air and your news director, the editor comes over and hands you a fucking tear sheet that you got to talk about this story on air, and you're reading it ahead of time, and you're trying to figure out how to tell people this lady cut this dude dick off and cops found it.
Hey,
put it
Man,
back
that shit is
on.
Well,
That's
hey,
like the
one of you
ultimate
niggas,
embarrassment.
listen, one of you smart niggas need to come up with dick insurance then. So if a nigga loses dick, he gets like a policy liability.
Hey,
Some dick
women ain't cutting
insurance.
dicks off like that
Hey,
to even
Yogi,
invest in no
Lloyd's
shit
of
like
London.
that. They
We
ain't
could
cutting dicks off
that'll be
like
a
that.
Lloyd's of London claim. Lloyd's of London will
These
cover
women
it.
ain't cutting dicks
It'll
off.
be.
They just sucking
I
other niggas'
want
dicks.
dick
They ain't cutting
insurance from
niggas'
But
Lloyd's
dicks
of
off.
London.
don't give them ideas. Y'all giving them ideas right now, man. Y'all niggas
Lloyd's of
giving them
London.
I
ideas.
don't give a.
Lloyd's of
Oh,
London. I'm
These ain't
telling
my
you,
women.
man.
Of course, I'm gonna give them
Get Lloyd's of
ideas.
London dick insurance.
I ain't know.
I need some dick Geico insurance, liability.
You just
Dick
call them up on the
Geico.
phone.
Next
Call
nigga that
Geico.
play
Call
motel,
Geico.
Is
And
dick
it
Geico will
full
give you.
coverage or liability? Full coverage
No,
from
no,
6
full
inches and
coverage. You
lower.
gotta have the. Hey, it's gotta include the balls
Liability for
too. It
6
can't
inches
just.
and smaller.
Yeah, it's gotta include the balls and at least like
The
part of the
balls will be.
bottom of your balls. Yeah, it's gotta cover it, man. It can't be like partly. You don't
Oh
want
man,
partly
that's
shit.
Shit.
crazy. That's
Unless you're
crazy, man.
poor, and then you get unless you're poor, and then you get like
Wow,
liability.
that's crazy, man. Whoa.
Holy shit!
What? That's the guy?
That's what happens when a
Yeah,
nigga get his dick cut off.
his
Oh
girlfriend
wait,
did
so
it.
that's the hit. Oh wow.
That's her right there. That's the girl that beat him up.
I wonder who that would have been. Oh man. Right? My face was bad, doesn't it? It was terrible. My face was. You think I'm
Wait, he's
fucking
still with
dead?
her?
Well, that was last night,
Yeah.
and this is how we're looking
Are y'all
today.
serious?
Still kind of beefy, but not really feeling the whoa.
What
Male,
the fuck?
female, it
What
doesn't
the-
matter. This kind of behavior is
What the fuck
unacceptable,
are you
man.
doing, Organic?
I've been through
What
it quite
the
a few
fuck?
times in my life. I hope you young men on this app never have to go through this. I hope you young ladies
App?
don't have to go
So
through
was
this.
he on Bigo?
But it does happen to men, guys. It
TikTok.
does.
Not
And
it
Oh,
does.
TikTok.
yeah, bro, like just get away from these people, bro.
Why is
But
her face
love you
clean?
guys.
Why is her
Yeah,
face
dude.
She
clean?
the one that beat his ass. You not listening?
We kind of need a
I
hug,
wanted
so
to finish
yeah, we're gonna
charge.
hang
I'm
on
trying
here
to
for a minute.
understand, like,
Okay.
why she
One
don't
more,
have
one more,
the
okay.
mark on her face
Cool.
right now.
Thank you, guys.
How is she
Because
not doing
she
time?
beat
Like
his
how?
ass.
Bro,
Wow.
like,
That man.
no,
Seen those
time
videos,
out.
man
Nah,
took
broke
hold
my
on,
heart.
Organic.
Because, I mean, look at that man's face. Multiple black eyes, bruises on his face, bruises on his neck. And the smug look on that woman's face, it says it all. She's done this before. She doesn't care, and she thinks she can get away with it. And some of the comments on these videos where y'all are blaming this man, telling him, oh, he should leave. He should take some self-defense classes. What would taking self-defense classes is the minute he tries to fight back in that manner, he's going to be blamed. He's going to go to jail. And because he's being abused, y'all are
Right.
still blaming him. Nick, man, I'm so sorry you're
So
going
she
through this.
cut
You do
his
not
dick
deserve
off?
this at all.
But show the
No.
picture of his show the picture of his balls. She didn't just punch him.
Oh no, I don't want to see that, man. I'm about to
Man,
get high. That's
time
gonna
out.
trip me out. Fuck that.
Show that guy nuts,
But the thing
man.
is
Hell
when she hit
no.
me that night, I made her do it. I made her do it.
Hell.
Every time she would go to swing, I would lean my face into the licks. Every time she would go to swing, I'm
'Cause you
leaning
a
my face
dumbass.
into the licks.
Because you a dumbass. You a
That's that
straight
white people.
dumbass.
That's that white
You a
people.
Can I
straight
get a mute?
dumbass.
Can I get a mute?
That
No,
man
that white
took an
people
ass
shit.
whooping, man.
Where you at? White people shit.
Real shit, real quick. A lot of these men really like that shit. The way that man
I
looked
think they both do
on the
like
camera.
they both do
Wait a
they
minute.
both like bodybuilders. I was
Is it
thinking
my
that
mute or
too.
your mute? Is it my mute or your
I was
mute?
just telling you
I'm
that the
trying to figure
fucking
it out.
girl body builds just like him, so they probably do like
I
that
don't
shit.
give
I
a
was agreeing
fuck.
with you, nigga. Damn. Who the fuck
Listen,
you talking to?
listen. These men out here, they really, especially like these white dudes, they
Light skinned
really like
motherfucker.
the fact that they could get a woman, right? And they're in their masculinity and alpha, and they get with a woman and that woman to beat their motherfucking ass. They get off on that shit. He probably busted a nut when she punched him in the face. Come on, so it ain't just like women out here just like beating men up like this. because like for him to have that much damage on his face, like we're men. We if my woman is dealing with me and she wanna fuck me up like that, she's not gonna fuck me up like that. I'm a hold her down, or I'm gonna walk away, or I'm gonna do something to where my eyes don't look like that. He really wanted to get punched in the face. He really wanted to get punched in the face. And a lot of these men out here, they really like for their women to abuse them. That's the thing. It's the dominance thing. They want their woman to dominate them. So I don't like I respect the video because it does happen with men get abused by women, but at the same time we can't not just scheme past like the fact that these niggas be want to get their ass beat by these women. Like
Yeah.
nah, because a lot of women is not just out here whooping niggas asses like that. That's a
When
goddamn
they the
lie.
Well,
punch out.
Can I get my
I
milk,
guess
please? Can I get a milk right quick?
The count in the comments, Renee, the count.
So, all right. So, I'm gonna speak on the factor that some men do get their ass beat. My best friend of almost half of my damn life, about 15 years, he was with a girl, and his girl was beating his ass. And when he went to the police, they laughed at him. They laughed him out of the jail. Like they really laughed at him. It was like, man, you want us to believe that this 105 soaking wet woman is beating the shit out of you. That's how much she weighed, like 105 soaking wet. And it's like, yeah, she beating the shit out of me. But what they didn't realize is that she had 4 brothers that were all gang members in New Orleans, Louisiana. Her dad was a big gang member as well. So every time she would say he would beat every time she would beat him, she would say, if you put your hand on me, I'm gonna go tell my brothers, and my brothers are gonna beat your fucking ass or they're gonna kill you. So the shit went on for months and months. Me, family, friends, his mom told him leave that bitch alone. She would go to his job, start shit on purpose, make him lose his job. When he lost his job, he was at home trying to find a job. She would beat him even more. It went on for months. My friend tried to take his life because he couldn't take it no more. The police didn't want to do nothing about it. It was just too much. Until he thought about something that he saw in a movie. The nigga went got a teddy bear, a camera, one of those fake nanny cams, put the bitch in a nanny cam, and made sure when she got home, she beat the shit out of him like she always do, and recorded it and brought it to the cops. That bitch is now doing prison time. That's how you get rid of these bitches because the police do not believe that a woman can beat you. Just like they don't believe that you can get raped by a fucking female. It happens. Because I was raped by my fucking female cousin. Men are the punchline to all this shit. In movies, we are the punchline to everything. A woman can slap you and it's a laughable punchline. But if we slap them bitches, oh, why you put your hand on that sister? Get the fuck out of here. I'm done.
well,
I'm
Yeah,
going
that
to
was
get me
a
a
that was
teddy.
a
I'm
uh
I'm
that
going to
was a
buy
good
me a teddy
dialogue,
bear.
kid, man.
I'm
I,
gonna
I,
say
I
part of
guess
the problem is that men don't take other male victims seriously. Women always take women victims seriously, even to the point of detriment when women end up lying, and we catch flack
Exactly.
for that. But men make other men the punchline in jokes when it
Yep.
comes to violence of any kind.
Yep.
And they say,
I
if you
remember.
don't show the same type of aggression back or violence, then you're weak. And this is what men say to men, and this is what men teach little
Yeah,
boys.
Yeah.
They teach
it,
each
I
it's
other not
true
to
remember.
take
though.
each
That's
other
exactly what we. That's what we do. That's
seriously.
yeah. I agree.
That's a problem.
Yeah. I
I
remember
don't think it's a
standing up in
problem though. I
class.
don't think that's a
I,
problem.
I, I do. I see it's a problem. Just like you said, you would laugh at your friend. That's part of the problem. I remember standing up in class, telling my classmates, because my teacher asked me to stand up and say, we stood up and everybody had something to say about anything that happened to them in life, when in their life. And when
Oh,
it got to me, I stood up and said it. in a bunch of classroom with all my friends that I thought were my friends laughed at me and said, nigga, you mad that you got some pussy at 6 years old? Yes, nigga, I was 6 years old. Niggas was laughing at me.
That's a
Niggas say you
problem.
gay, you a bitch ass nigga for that. Why you mad that your cousin gave you some ass? You a bitch ass. I heard it all, my nigga. But guess what? It made me hate myself. It made me. I didn't have my first relationship, my first real relationship until I was 23 years old. I didn't trust females. I didn't even let that bitch give me oral sex. She thought I was gay. She was like, nigga, I want to give you head. You don't want head? What? It made me feel fucked up. And it made me hate women. I had a passion. I had a hatred towards women. I would just fuck them and leave them. Just treat them disrespectfully, my nigga. It fucked me up. It did.
I have a question for you, Kevin.
My friends was not there. And hold on one second. Because my friends was not there and my family all believed that we raped that bitch, even though me and my brother was so young, we didn't know what the fuck was going on. They beat me. Them bitches beat me for days. My family beat me for days. I got 12 fucking uncles. I got 6. Hold on. I got 6 motherfucking aunties and 6 uncles. Imagine all of your uncles and aunties coming in your fucking room every day for a month and beating you.
I want to get my bit. I want to do a chart. I want to do your chart now.
Imagine
that. Is throwing women everywhere into a tizzy.
Men hate women.
And it is this one right here. I'll let one of the more popular anti-male TikTokers show you this Twitter thread and explain this phenomenon that men exclusively do to women.
So I found this post on Twitter. You can pause to read it, as well as, this little section right here. When you're wondering why you're having such a peaceful day and it turns out she's giving you the silent treatment, you could be ghosting her and she would still be texting you. I just want to make sure you're okay. You can talk to me. Like, are you kidding? But something I don't think men realize because they were too busy yucking it up is that they have now communicated something to women that women have known for a pretty long time, but they have officially confirmed it. Number 1, men cannot be alone. Like, y'all are weirdly codependent. Number 2, y'all are unusually comfortable with using women for specific services while holding a large amount of vitriol in your hearts for them. Almost like a master but a slave. Number 3, when you ask women to marry you, it means nothing. When you ask women to have your kids, it means nothing. Because at the end of the day, you can still hate them and resent them for not taking a hint and breaking up with you. And 4, and this is really a doozy, you have now communicated to women that they cannot trust you to communicate.
And she makes a great point because I've never seen a woman do this to a man. Oh, wait.
Take a look at your partner and think, how can I hate somebody so much that I love? Welcome to marriage.
Me trying to explain how a girl mentally checks out of a relationship long before she breaks up with her boyfriend. And as for the whole using people and not actually caring for them thing, are we forgetting that entire profiles that are about using men for nothing more than their money exist? Oh wait, no we didn't, because the creator of this video actually liked a comment that mentioned Sprinkle Sprinkle, which is that creator's slogan and a dog whistle for gold digging culture. Women like this creator are right to point out that this behavior is pretty gross and effed up, and that if you're having these kinds of issues, you should either try to work on them or just leave, but they're wrong to try to make this a gendered issue. I've seen equally gross Twitter threads from women, okay? We do this to each other. And I hate to say this, but when you take one thread on Twitter full of a bunch of anonymous internet degens and use it to make a sweeping generalization about an entire sex, that is incel behavior. That's what incels do to women, is they take these weird isolated niche incidents of women being jerks and extrapolate that to mean that anybody with ovaries is a jerk. When the reality of the situation is most guys cannot relate to hating their girlfriends. This is not a man issue and this is not most people. Dude, we could have come together as men and women and clowned this behavior together. But what did we do? We made it another our gender is the victim and your gender is the oppressor battle. And what does that do? Furthers the divide between men and women. Like, you guys saying over and over again, men don't like women, doesn't make it true, thank God, but it does inspire women to believe it's true. And riddle me this, Batman, what actual good does it do for us women to convince each other that men hate us? Do you honestly think it protects us, makes us happier? Damn, girl, are you an eclipse? Because you're throwing a lot of shade and blocking out the light that we're all trying to enjoy and stay warm in. Fellas, please comment down.
Man, I was waiting. You know what? I was hoping that I wasn't going to hear that. But that whole fellas, please comment at the end, that's a very thinly veiled, like one of those, like that heifer pearl. The white girl that is, the most opposite of submissive, but wants to like suck the proverbial dick of every man in a podcast scene with all of that. Woe is men, all hell men bullshit. She was so intellectually dishonest in that little, and it was a little bit of stuff that I agree with, like the unnecessary
Right.
gender wars.
But
I
then
agree
she
with
took a
that
sharp right.
100%. But it was. I wish I was writing at this. I was watching this little Chinese drama.
It was a little
So I wasn't
condescending,
writing
but whatever.
and damn nothing. But if you don't mind, Organic, can you play it again?
Uh-huh.
Can you play it again?
For the cheap seats.
You want me to go specifically to when she started talking?
Now she's slow and can't
Yeah,
follow.
when she
Out
started
using
talking.
men for nothing more than their money exists.
Don't
Oh wait, no,
fucking
we didn't
start with
because
that woman, boy.
are we forgetting that
Don't
entire
start.
Oh wait.
You ever look at your partner and think, how can I hate somebody so much that I love? Welcome to marriage.
Me trying to explain how a girl mentally checks out of a relationship long before she breaks up with her boyfriend. And as for the whole using people and not actually caring for them thing, are we forgetting that entire profiles that are about using men for nothing more than their money exist? Oh wait, no we didn't, because the creator of this video actually liked a comment that mentioned Sprinkle Sprinkle, which is that creator's slogan and a dog whistle for gold digging culture. Women like this creator are right to point out that this behavior is pretty gross and effed up, and that if you're having these kinds of issues, you should either try to work on them or just leave. But they're wrong to try to make this a gendered issue.
Moto.
I've seen equally gross Twitter threads from women, okay? We do this to each other. And I hate to say this, but when you take one thread on Twitter full of a bunch of anonymous internet degens and use it to make a sweeping generalization about an entire sex, that is incel behavior. That's what incels do to women, is they take these weird, isolated, niche incidents of women being jerks and extrapolate that to mean that anybody with ovaries is a jerk. When the reality of the situation is most guys cannot relate to hating their girlfriends. This is not a man issue, and this is not most people. Dude, we could have come together as men and women and clowned this behavior together. But what did we do? We made it another our gender is the victim and your gender is the oppressor battle. And what does that do? Furthers the divide between men and women. Like, you guys saying over and over again, men don't like women, doesn't make it true, thank God, but it does inspire women to believe it's true. And riddle me this, Batman, what actual good does it do for us women to convince each other that men hate us? Do you honestly think it protects us, makes us happier? Damn, girl, are you an eclipse? Because you're throwing a lot of shade and blocking out the light that we're all trying to enjoy and stay warm in. Fellas, please comment down below if you thought that Twitter thread was trash so we can show the ladies that it is far from the majority of dudes who appreciate this crap. There is a viral Twitter.
Put that pussy on me, baby.
She
Sprinkle,
aligns
sprinkle.
herself with men.
I'm
And this is the
vanilla,
problem
baby.
I have with a lot of women that really don't know how to be genuinely neutral with a lot of these topics. It's the problem. If you're trying to take ride the fence, then do that all the way through. I think that it's very convenient how at the very end she shows where her allegiance, so to speak, is. But before in everything else, she tried to make it seem like everything was a two-way street and both sides are suffering from these issues. But then she essentially makes herself like, I don't want to say an enemy because I think that's too strong of a word, but there's no need to draw a line and other yourself or separate yourself from women for something you think is an issue that women also suffer from. That's one. Two, the whole using men for money thing is so intellectually dishonest and weak as an argument because the overwhelming majority of those platforms are talking about men who want women to use their resources. These are men who position themselves, who work for certain financial statuses in life, and they want the women who will be able to reap the benefits of that, as long as those women also give those men what they want. And those men have very specific standards, and those platforms cater to those women because those women want to be those trophies, and it comes with a very specific set of criteria that you have to meet. So it's not one-sided at all. So for her to present that like that was extremely dishonest, and it was disgusting coming from a woman who claims to want neutrality and see that it's a problem for both parties. That's not fair.
A prime example of what you just said would be Tate's podcast. You ever seen it?
I've seen this podcast and tuned
It's
out.
straight up a sprinkle podcast.
But do you mean Andrew Tate?
Yes.
So that's a man's podcast. That's the thing. Men are also giving this content of how to use men for their money.
Yes, that was the example. That's what I was saying. That was your example. It was perfect.
No, I wasn't talking about men's platforms. I was talking about women's platforms because I follow some of those platforms because I think it's interesting that they're coaching women to get certain things out of relationships, but they're also looking at a very specific subset of men and saying they frequently interact with those men, and those men tell those women what they like and what they want. So they tell other women, if you want to be this type of woman who will get this stuff from these men, this is what you need to do. It's not a guide on gold digging. There are men who want women to just sit pretty by their side, and that's all they have to do is exist, and they will, fund their lives. There are men who want that for themselves. And so for anybody to paint that as a bad thing, when men are also making these platforms to say that there are women who deserve that treatment should they meet certain criteria, is crazy. How could anybody make that a problem?
Good point.
It goes both ways, by the way.
But women aren't complaining. The women who are buying these services from men or paying to have, this type of attention from men, they're not complaining.
No.
Nor are the men who are receiving said services or having they're not complaining. It's men who are complaining.
Facts, because it's a whole lady who just was doing a podcast I watched, and she was saying that basically she want a nigga to be at home, booty naked, ready to massage her, rub her down.
Yep.
Pretty much do everything for her in a physical manner. And she was gonna pay him. You know what I'm saying? She ain't putting no number out there, but she say she taking applications, and if she find a candidate, they'll discuss numbers. Now it's a whole plateau of men who have just thrown themselves in their pals, and then you got their wives who up underneath they comments like, nigga, what the fuck is you off of? So how, you know what I'm saying? It just seemed like men that is the ones who kind of willing to pay is mainly the problem, because niggas who getting paid, they are content extremely.
Great point. And also to Indigo in the comments, I like how in the video she says it's not most men and it's not most people. However, it actually is, because the people who are making the money to where this is not an issue, those are the minority. So it is the majority of men who are average at best, who are complaining about these things because they cannot attain these statuses to have this in their lives. It is the majority of men, and it is the majority of women on the other side who, well, I don't even know. However women fit in the majority, in a sense, for our problem, it is the majority of women too, for whatever that problem is. Let me look back at my list. Oh, the majority of women are going to be gold diggers, and men just need to get used to it. It's men making $30,000 a year crying about gold diggers. How? How?
Mhm.
And that's a dog ass point, Kente. Cause what I don't
And you
understand
access.
is how niggas be saying like the woman
Thank you,
want
Kev.
a lot or she needs a lot, but when you look at what's asked of her, it's so minor and it's so minute compared to, other things that people be wanting. Lady want a goddamn vehicle to drive. You got women out here who telling niggas that they want the Benz, you feel what I'm saying? They want the G-Wagon. I spit on that bitch feet. You feel what I'm saying? Fuck you talk about. You know what I'm saying? But it just seemed like the demographic be so different. And then the maintenance as well. You know what I'm saying? Just like you gotta maintenance that motherfucking Mercedes Benz. Them women be goddamn $100 for some lashes, 200 for the nails
Mm-hmm.
and shit, 500 for hair. You ain't even got no poo poo yet, and you ain't fed her navel. So it just be seeming like for the nigga who made 30K, bro, leave that bitch alone. That bitch does your goddamn.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
that don't.
they can't even afford the problems that they claiming they have. It's crazy. But the men who can afford to just splurge or give a woman a $5,000 a month allowance, like nobody in that relationship is complaining about the money and where it's going or none of that. And they're also not complaining about what is required of them to receive whatever they're getting within that relationship. So why are there other people out here making think pieces on this stuff? It's because they're not speaking for the people with the money. They're speaking for the people without the money who find it an issue. If you can't finance a woman's life, then find somebody who's willing to go 50-50 with you and stay in your lane. Everybody don't have to cry about that with you. Because me, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom and I'm not paying no bills once that starts. And my husband already knows this, and that's what we're preparing for. So he's not going to be complaining about that.
But see, that's a plan. That's already predetermined. Like a lot of times, these men, unfortunately, thinking what they did, you trying to appease something, and you trying to factor certain things into your budget, and then you end up seeing that you have exalted yourself, trying to gratify another person. And at that point, once you have put yourself to your wits end, and that person is continuing to be themselves, the version of them that they have always shown they were, now they're a greedy whore. You know what I'm saying? Now they're a gold digger.
Mm-hmm.
But these qualities
Mm-hmm.
were already there from the beginning. You just chose to admit to them because of what you were receiving on the other end. So I think like my perspective always been, if you tell me a broad a trick, I'm gonna think you the trick nigga. Because wherever there's a trick, there's someone paying for her. So it's just like
That's
you
absolutely right.
you can call her a trick bitch. And in the same aspect, in my mind, I'm gonna say, and you the trick bitch she was tricking with. So two trick bitches just mean
But
there's some
they
tricking going on.
but they use that to attract these women, so they already know what the women are coming with. But because you
Right.
can't be consistent with it, now all of a sudden she's the problem.
But
And they expect the rest of us women to call these women out. No, these women, hey Nick, these women showed very clearly who they were and what they wanted from jump. And you liked that. They go for the women with the 30-inch bust downs and the golden eyelids and the bat wings for eyelashes and the nails that reach to China and all of that. They love all of that extra and the Shein outfits. They love that. And the platform heels and the Instagram model pics and all. They love that. And that's what they attract. So when those women come and be like, proverbial fish pose out there. Got one, reel her in. But now what it took to attract her, you can't keep it up. So now she's a gold digging bitch. Now she's a gold digging bitch. That don't make no sense. Like I keep saying, and I don't care who thinks I'm a man hater, because this is reality. A lot of men, for some of this, they be creating their own problems. And there's so much, it's so illogical. It doesn't make sense. And it has nothing to do with men and women not being the same. It's just men not making sense. That's just like with the violence stuff. There have been women, even on this app, we've had whole panels of women, whether men are there or not, saying we want to hold space for men or encouraging men to make those spaces themselves. And they don't. They don't. And when men do have spaces where male voices are centered, what do they use that time to do? Be facetious about women, joke around, or have the little locker room boy talk. And it's very superficial. And these are the spaces that I've been allowed to like sit in and observe, not even participate, just sit in and observe. Men waste those opportunities. It has nothing to do with women. Men will clown other men for being the victim of violence of any kind. Because you a man, you just beat the nigga ass, or just beat her ass, or just leave. Like everything is so simple until it's not. And then they pass that on to little boys. And then somehow the women are the problem because the women are taking, which I think is wrong, they're taking the example of the men and now they're telling little boys, oh, man up at 4 years old. Don't cry at 3 years old. When that's what they're here to do at that age, is cry. Women's mindsets have even been tainted by the bullshit. A lot of this stuff, it sucks to say, it does start with men and it will end with men. And they keep saying, oh, you're blaming. Well, at this point, call it what you want. But at some point, you have to realize that if y'all want to be the leaders, then some of this shit, y'all are going to have to take the initiative to fix, like leaders do, whether it's your fault or not.
Look at this. So I so believe in everything you saying because, like, just take a father with his son, right? When he's a child, he get that rhythm of walking and everything, and then he fall and he cry. What's the first thing he tell his son? Get up. Boys don't cry.
Get up.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Don't cry.
But in the same aspect, when that little girl fall, he cradle her. He tell her it's gonna be all right. So from my perspective, psychologically, he teaching that little boy that his emotions don't move shit. And that little girl emotions move everything. Now, if that little girl get a little older and she start using her emotions and we gonna use promiscuous manner, then the same aspects apply. Because now her mannerisms and everything is just producing a sexual emotion and it just showing him. So I just believe that it do start with the man's encounters with the child and how he responds to the child. Because if he tell that little boy, you know what I'm saying, if he cry to that little boy, it don't make that little boy a sissy or a punk or whatever they could call it. It just shows that young man that his emotions are as valuable as the young lady. And if he knows that as a child, once he gets to be an adult, I don't think men will be, you know, the way the fuck they is, man.
You're absolutely right. And that's why so many men need so much therapy now. Because you have to undo years of believing that your emotions don't matter when they do. And I have so many friends who have babies.